So then moving to item 7, the performance exceptions report. Now, Peter, I'll get you to make some introductory remarks in just a moment, but first to say that this is the first time that we've seen this report updated with the recent results from the resident satisfaction survey and the point of contact survey. Now, both of those surveys are going to be reported in a formal sense to Council at the Council meeting on the 13th of May. That will be the opportunity for any detailed questions on those surveys, the survey methodology, the survey results, and any of the trends and so on that, that those are showing. So anything that's specifically about the surveys or the survey results, those questions would be rightly directed to that meeting, the 13th of May. However, today would be the appropriate time to raise any questions around performance exceptions, including those that have been updated by the survey results. But anything about the survey specifically, we'll be referring to the Council meeting on the 13th of May when the report on those surveys comes in front of Council. So with that said, Peter, welcome to the table, and I'd welcome any introductory remarks that you've got on this report.
Thank you and good morning. Just to clarify the purpose of this report again, it's to report high-level results against performance goals. The more detailed analysis follows in the finance and project management reports. The top line of service delivery is that it's stable. It has been since basically October last year. We're sitting at about 82.5% of levels of service successfully delivered out of looking for about 85. Now, the show's not over. That's only a couple that could take us to success. And there are some that are hanging in the balance, so we may end up at 85 yet. These results, as the Chair has noted, contain the resident survey results across a whole raft of levels of service. The bottom line of that is that those that went the wrong way are netted off by those that went the right way, and there's been a negligible effect overall on the overall result. Obviously, every year there are a certain percentage where there's a decline, there's a certain percentage where there's an increase, and basically they net out this year. It's also worth noting that there are some levels of service that are still affected by COVID. Obviously, attendance and visits at things like the art gallery are going to be affected by the lack of international visitors. So the positive there is, you may note if you look at previous years, the volatility involved. The forecasting this year is spot on. The managers are really on top of what they're doing. Their forecasts have proven to be very, very accurate, to the point where even the resident survey, which is a somewhat subjective feedback from the public, their forecasts have been accurate there as well. So it's good to see that we've got a tight, reliable forecast to put in front of you. Non-LTP levels of service, which are more detailed and management oriented, are actually quite a lot higher than this. So that's just a piece of context. Moving on to the Watchlist capital projects, you'll get a more detailed report, but overall we're looking at 80% for a target of 90 on major watchlist projects. Bearing in mind that that's a view of the watchlist based on whole of life, not just the current year. You'll get details of specific exceptions, project exceptions in Ruth's report to follow. The highlights are pointed out there and any changes from the original baseline in the LTP. So for both, in short, for both watchlist projects and levels of service, we're running close to target. We still have almost a quarter of a year left. So it's hard to predict exactly where it will end, but this will be reasonably close to where it will end. Following that, there are some management comments on levels of service exceptions, supplying actuals, remedial actions, and any commentary. The quality of those comments we're working on with the managers to make sure you get the right information in front of you. There are very few surprises in there. They're consistent with previous months. If there are questions on any of those, I'll attempt to answer them, or the manager can answer them if they're present, or we can, if they're detailed questions, we can take them away and report back to you, which was a protocol set up in previous meetings.
Thank you. And I mean, it's interesting what causes a project to go red. We've got St Albans Community Centre pushed back by 12 days. In the grand scheme of things, minimal, but that causes that to be shown as an exception. So, I mean, that's just one example of how a very small change can result in something showing up in this report.
Yes.
All right, so Peter, thanks for the introduction. Happy to take any questions on this. Are there questions on this report? No questions? All right, in which case I'm happy to move that we receive the information provided in the report. Jimmy will second. All those in favour say aye. Against? That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you.